This is Unleash Your Inner Legend, a podcast featuring modern-day legends sharing their life choices, habits, and routines that got them to where they are today. Get ready to be inspired and to take massive action to unleash your inner legend. Today, we'll be talking about finding your why. And it's a process that is formulated by a guy named Simon Sinek. And this is the process he lays out in his book, Finding Your Why. And literally, you guys, the moment I went through this process, it changed my thought process. It created such a high level of awareness on the things that I was doing on a day-to-day basis, and literally just a game changer. And that's why I am super excited to share with all of you guys, and hopefully that it makes such an impact as it has on my life. You know, when you think about finding your why, you always think about maybe it's your children, or maybe it's your husband, wife, dog, whatever it is that you have that makes you want to wake up and get out of bed and do the things that's going to make you the best version of yourself. However, this process, I don't want to say debunks it, but it definitely has you have a different perspective on your why, and it really goes really deep into it. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and hop into it. If you guys have any questions, know that I'm here for you, and I look forward to teaching you this topic on finding your why. So why does it even matter? I am so excited to get into this topic with you guys and really get you guys some clarity on this, because it's literally a game changer. So we find more meaning in what we do when we know why we're doing it. Simon Sinek. And this is the author of the book, Finding Your Why, which this process is built off of. And he's also the author of Leaders Eat Last and Start With Why. All phenomenal books, and I'd highly recommend them all, but definitely take a look at Finding Your Why as it relates directly to this presentation. So why in the world do we need to know our why? Ladies, you especially, stay with me. I know that this is a completely unpopular opinion, but your kids are not your why. Your kids are the what. Your why translates through your kids a lot of time, but they are the what, not the why. And think about it. Before you had kids, you had a why. And when they're all grown up and they start having their own families, then what are you going to do? You've got to have that perception of your kids are not your why, but they're the what. And just hang in tight with me and have an open mind. I'm going to explain everything during this presentation. So to live your why, you really have to focus on living your house. Your hows are the guiding principles that when we put them into action, that is us at our very best. And without the meaning, the only thing we have to focus on are results in the forms of metrics and numbers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we have to have them, right? We have to have those metrics and numbers. However, just be aware, if you're putting so much focus on the results, you'll put an unbalanced amount of focus on them and not so much the meaning and the fulfillment. So us as human beings, it's our nature to have that meaning and the fulfillment. So that's when we start experiencing a burnout. Think about it, whether it's a diet. If you're putting so much focus on the number on the scale and the things like that, instead of the meaning behind why, you find yourself getting burnt out very quickly, and then you result in default back to going to the way you were living before you started the diet. No different in business. When we start focusing so much on we've got to make X amount of cold calls, or we've got to send out X amount of flyers or X amount of contacts, when you forget the whole reason why you're doing it in the first place, you're going to start experiencing a burnout. And that's when we give up and we literally just have a bad taste in our mouth from what we were just trying to accomplish. Now we find ourselves in this hamster wheel of work when we focus on the results solely. You'll wake up, go to work, go home, go to sleep, repeat. We will fall into a rhythm of quote unquote having to go to work. And this is how we kill culture. When we start living life like this, you start bringing more people in and having them in your environment, you start giving that vibe, that attitude to everyone else. Whether you are a stay-at-home mom and you're starting your own business, or you are an employer and you have employees underneath you, that's when you will start to experience that sphere around you picking up on that vibe that you're throwing out. And your employees will start looking forward to Fridays instead of Mondays. And if you have a home-based business, maybe your spouse is looking forward to going to work or getting away from you versus being at home and being around you. So the key is we must shift our perspective and look at things differently. So let me talk about the intent of this presentation. And spoiler alert, I'm not teaching you guys anything new. It's literally taking what we already have and know and what you guys are already doing and looking at them at a slightly different angle. Now, when we focus on the numbers and metrics, we are slaves to the actions we must do to get those numbers. When we shift our perspective to purpose and meaning in what we do, we get to choose the action that will get us to those numbers. And this is why it's so important for us to be able to articulate our why, not only to ourselves, but to our colleagues and employees, family, and friends. So your why statement should be simple and clear, actionable, focused on how you'll contribute to others, expressed in an affirmative language that resonates with you. And it's great thing, like I said, I'm not teaching you guys anything new, but your why is just simply discovered, not invented. It's not aspirational, and it's not who we aspire to be. So I'm going to talk to you guys about this process that we'll be going through, and this is going to be the Finding Your Why process. So 1, we're going to gather and share stories. 2, we're going to identify the themes. 3, we're going to draft our why statement. 4, test and refine. 5, define your hows. 6, examine your whys. And those are going to be what we're doing on a daily basis. 7, share your story, share your why, and inspire those around us. So this is kind of a visual, if you will. Your why is at your core. And then from that goes your why, your how, and your what. So number 1, gather and share stories. Your why is an origin story. To uncover this, we must bring together our standout memories of these defining moments and examine them and find the connecting dots between them. When you have done something that you felt the most fulfilled, this is us living in flow with our why. Impactful times in our life. I mean, just think about it. Close your eyes and think about the stories that you've had and that's made you just feel amazing that you did that, you experienced that, or maybe somebody has done something for you, made you feel that way. Now, that, flip on the other side, the opposite of that feeling, when we do something that's not aligned to our why, these value stories will bring a sense of what's missing. Maybe you've done something and it just kind of was made you like a kick in the stomach and made you feel bad. These are us experiencing, living, and doing things that are not in alignment to our why. So gather these stories, and this is going to be, I think, the most exciting yet kind of intimidating process, because you're going to want to gather these stories and share them with someone. But the key of it is you don't want to share with someone that knows you very well and extremely well. So for instance, if you're married, you would not want to share this story with your spouse. Why? Because your spouse more than likely has either already heard it before, heard it from someone else in your realm of network of your relationships, or they've also, experienced it themselves and they have their own definition and meaning of what happened and how it happened. So find someone that you don't know very well and literally share all these stories with them. Now you'll want to come up with at least 3 or 4, and you can have up to 20. So find someone and share those stories. Next, in the process is identifying your themes. So these are going to be the recurring ideas, words, phrases, and feelings that emerge from your stories that you had shared with someone. And these themes will become the foundation of your why statement. 3, we're going to draft our why statement. So this is what's going to be the framework of your why statement. 2, contribution, so that impact. Now, let me make this in a little bit different context. It's literally going to say to blank, so that blank. And your contribution is going to be the things that we have in control. That's going to be the thing we do and give and provide when we're naturally at our best. Our impact is out of our control, but that's going to be what we appreciate getting from someone else when we do the things that we want to do, which would be our contribution. So here's some examples. 2, inspire people to do the things that inspire them so that together we can change our world. And that's actually Simon Sinek's why. Here's another one. 2, empower and educate people everywhere so that they can improve their lives and achieve their goals. And here's one that's actually mine. It's 2, inspire people to let go of limiting beliefs so that they can unleash their inner legend and live the life they were intended to. Number 4 is going to be test and refine. And then 5 is going to be defining your hows. Our hows are the actions we take when we are at our natural best to bring our why to life. Use the remaining themes to define your hows. So, going back to our exercises and our stories and the contribution that didn't make it to our why statement, that's going to be into your hows. Number 6 is going to be examining your whats. And our whats are the tangible manifestations to our why in both our work and our lives. Our whats are the actual work we do every day and the way we spend our time. So this is your children. Your children are your whats. They are what we do every day, and it's the way we spend our time. And then number 7, this is going to be the most exciting one, is sharing your why. So taking the time to discover your why and articulate your how is simply how we begin our journey. Next comes the hard part. We're going to have to act on them. You're going to have to bring them to life. We're going to have to share them, because the things we say and the things we do are aligned. That's going to be when we live and fulfill our best life, by living our why. So to live your why, you really have to focus on living your hows. Your hows are going to be the guiding principles that when we put them into action, that is us at our best. I hope this helped you guys so much. Feel free to replay it, pause it, take notes, whatever you got to do. Pick up that book and read about Finding Your Why by Simon Sinek. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this training topic.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Unleash Your Inner Legend. For more inspiration, make sure to subscribe by going to unleashyourinnerlegend.com. We'll see you guys next week.